What's going on, everyone? It's Adrian from DraftTime.com, and I got some brand new tools on our website that I wanted to show you. So today is August 13th, 2019, and we're just under a month away from the NFL season. So this means that it's daily fantasy football time, and contests are already up on FanDuel and DraftKings. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to use these brand new tools in order to build your optimal lineups. So first of all, what's different about our website? Well, we did an entire facelift of our website to make it more user-friendly and to make it run smoother and faster. And we also redid the entire optimizer tool, which you're looking at right now. So what's different about the optimizer tool from before? Well, first of all, it's significantly faster than before. For example, let's run 5 lineups right here. It pretty much runs instantaneously. Another thing that's different is now we have slate selection available. So for instance, this is the main slate for week 1 of the NFL season, and we could actually change this to the Thursday night showdown between Green Bay and Chicago. And the showdown is actually a little bit different than the normal slates. If you guys are familiar with how the showdown works, you get a captain spot and you get a flex spot. And the captain spot gives you 1.5 times the normal amount of points on DraftKings. And then on FanDuel, they have an MVP spot that gives you 2 times the points, and they have an all-star spot that gives you 1.5 times the amount of points. So our optimization tool takes this into consideration, and now we can do optimized lineups for these single game slates. So let me show you how this works. So first of all, these single game slates, they run so fast because there's not that many players in your player pool. So we could put this all the way up to 20 lineups. Okay, and let's hit generate lineups. And we see how fast it runs 20 lineups. And this first lineup is pretty much saying that Aaron Rodgers belongs at the captain spot, okay, which gives him 1.5 times the normal amount of points. And that's going to give you the most optimal lineup. Now let's suppose that we wanted to take a long shot on the captain and not have Aaron Rodgers as the captain. Well, one thing we could do is we could come over here, we could find Aaron Rodgers, and we could find his captain spot. So it's this one right here where it says CPT, and we could exclude that. Another thing that we could do is we could lock in a certain player at that captain position. So let's lock Tariq Cohen into this captain position and then hit generate lineups. And now you see it generated 20 different lineups where Tariq Cohen is the captain. So that's how the single game optimizer works. So let's go back to the main slate by selecting the main slate over here. And then let's take a look at the optimizer, which I separate the optimizer and the lineups into different tabs up here. So let's go back to optimizer. Now, one of the new features that I wanted to talk about is our stacking feature. So if anyone's familiar with stacking is when you take a bunch of players from one specific team and you incorporate them into your optimized lineup. Okay, so the purpose of that is, you might be able to hit it big if you have a quarterback and, maybe a couple of his receivers and they just end up, blowing up that game. So I'm going to show you how to stack a specific team. So first of all, let's say we wanted to stack the Los Angeles Rams. So what we do is we come over here to the LA Rams, we click on it, and now up here we say that the minimum players to be stacked is 3. We want to stack 3 players from the Rams. Hit submit, and now let's run lineups, but let's run 5. And now let's hit generate lineups. Now, as you can see, it picked up 3 Rams players. It picked up Goff, Brandon Cooks, and then it picked up the Rams defense. Now, if you wanted to, you could exclude the Rams defense so that it picks up maybe Goff and 2 receivers, but it actually does it here in this second lineup. It's got Goff, Robert Woods, and Brandon Cooks. Okay, so that's how that works. So let's go back to the optimizer here, and down here we have a bunch of filters. So this is our minimum player projection filter. So as you change that, you see all the players getting filtered out that aren't projected to score 13 points. Here we have our maximum player projection filter, and then down here we have our minimum and maximum salary filters. Now, another thing that I wanted to show you is, let's suppose you don't like our projection for Jimmy Garoppolo, you think he's going to score more than that, you can actually come in here and let's change this to 23. And now he's projected to score 23, and I'm guessing that if we run the optimizer, it's going to pick him up, which it did. So let's go back to the optimizer and let's change this back. I believe it was 20.62. And I want to show you another feature. This lineup optimizer also allows you the ability to import projections from your own CSV file. So let me show you how this works. So first of all, we could come up here and we could choose this little import icon, and now that prompts us for a CSV file. So let's choose this file right here, PRJ1, but let me go ahead and open it up so I can show you what it looks like. So it's pretty simple basically. You have the player's name in column A, and then you have his projection in column B. So it's a pretty simple CSV file. Make sure you save it with the .csv extension. That way it works with the importer. But let's go ahead and close this out. And then let's go ahead and select this. And as you can see, it imports all of the projections from that CSV file into this column here. Okay, and now we could do that for up to 3 different files. So let's go over here to PRJ2 and let's choose this second file here. And then let's go over here to PRJ3 and let's choose this third file. But I specifically left out Patrick Mahomes in this third file because I want to show you what happens when the file is missing a player. So as you can see, Patrick Mahomes is highlighted red here, and that basically indicates that he wasn't in the file. So what it did was it took the draft dime projection, which was 24.82, and it applied that to this column, okay? But you could go ahead and change that if you wanted to, just by going in and typing into it. And now that you have all these different projections imported, now you can place weight on each of these projections. So let's just say for purposes of this example that we want to place 25% on each projection. We want 25% on draft time and then 25% on 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's change that. So we're going to type 25% into this field, and we're going to do the same for all these other projections. And now as you do that, you can see this column right here, the weighted average projection column, changes to reflect the weighted average. And if you wanted to, you could even place some weight here on the projected floor and ceiling. But now we're ready to run this and find our optimized lineup using our new weighted average projection. But one more thing before we run it, we still have this stack here for the LA Rams, which you can see because it's highlighted orange. So let's go back into this and let's bring this back down to 0. That way we don't stack for the LA Rams anymore. And now we're ready to run. And now we have our new optimized lineup. But there's one more thing that I actually didn't show you yet that I want to show you right now. So for the single game, which is the Showdown slate, when you import projections, okay, so I have a file here which is called PRJ Showdown. Let me go ahead and open this up. Basically on this file, it's just like the other projection file. You have the player name here in column A, and then you have the projection here in column B. But let me go ahead and close this out. And let's go ahead and import this. And as you can see, it automatically does the arithmetic, and it provides the captain position a value that's 1.5 times greater than his normal projection. So you can actually still use the import projections feature on the Showdown slates. But anyways, I mean, that's pretty much how you use this new optimizer. You know, these lineups that you're seeing are definitely going to change before the start of the season because we're still, you know, almost a month out. So be sure you sign up to our website before the season starts.